Hello everyone, thank you for coming out today. Thanks for being here, and I appreciate my colleagues behind me, and I appreciate members of the press being here. My name is Andy Biggs. I represent Arizona's 5th Congressional District. I also serve as the co-chair of the Congressional Border Security Caucus with my friend from Texas, Brian Babin. Today, we have former senior officials from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, ICE, the Border Security Caucus, and members of Congress from across the country. And we're holding this press conference today to reiterate the importance of constitutional discipline for Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas in the 118th Congress. In August 2021, I was the first member of Congress to introduce articles of impeachment against Secretary Mayorkas, and now that we have the majority in the House of Representatives, I expect our party to pursue impeachment next Congress. Secretary Mayorkas has committed high crimes and misdemeanors. His conduct is not incompetent, it's not negligent, it is willful and intentional. First, Secretary Mayorkas has failed to maintain operational control of the border as required under the law. The Secure Fences Act of 2006 requires the Secretary to achieve and maintain operational control of the border. It defines operational control as, quote, the prevention of all unlawful entries into the United States, including entries by terrorists, other unlawful aliens, instruments of terrorism, narcotics, and other contraband, close quote. That is his duty and his obligation. Instead, the policies that he has enacted has produced the exact opposite of operational control. Current Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz said under oath that the Biden administration's border policies have, quote, no consequences, close quote, for illegal aliens arriving in our country. As a result, more than 4 million illegal aliens have been apprehended under Secretary Mayorkas' leadership. This number does not include known or unknown gotaways. His failure to maintain operational control of the border is allowing deadly, illegal drugs such as fentanyl to come into the country. Fentanyl is now the leading cause of death for Americans aged 18 to 45. His failure to maintain operational control of the border is creating a national security threat as well, because potential terror threats are entering the country. Immigration authorities at the border apprehended nearly 100 illegal aliens on the terror watch list in the fiscal year 2022. Second, he may have lied to Congress when he testified that he was maintaining operational control of the border. Congressman Chip Roy of Texas literally showed in this definition, the one I read to you earlier, and Secretary Mayorkas doubled down that he felt the border was secure. Third, Secretary Mayorkas is failing to detain illegal aliens as required by law. Instead, he is simply releasing illegal aliens into the country. The law is clear. Illegal aliens shall be detained. But Secretary Mayorkas has released more than 1 million illegal aliens into the country. Most of these released illegal aliens will never be heard from again. We don't know where they are, what they're doing. That's unacceptable. Fourth, he is abusing the narrow authority that Congress gave to him to parole aliens into the United States. The Immigration and Nationality Act allows the Secretary to parole agents into the United States, quote, only on a case-by-case basis for urgent humanitarian reasons or significant public benefit, close quote. But Secretary Mayorkas is using parole in a categorical, generic manner and not on a case-by-case basis. I expect the House Judiciary Committee to open an impeachment inquiry in the 118th Congress, formally investigate Secretary Mayorkas, and finally, to proceed to impeach him. The investigation will further prove that what we've been saying all along about Secretary Mayorkas. Every day Secretary Mayorkas remains in office, America becomes less safe. Now I'll hand this off to someone I consider a good friend. He's the co-chair of the Border Security Caucus, Brian Babin from Texas.
Andy, thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you, Andy. I'm Brian Babin, and I represent the 36th District of the great state of Texas. And it is an honor to co-chair the House Border Security Caucus with Andy Biggs from Arizona. 16,000 illegal aliens were apprehended crossing the southern border in the last 48 hours. Also in the last 48 hours, $97 million worth of narcotics were seized. We're 1 month into the new fiscal year, and already more than 500,000 illegals have already been apprehended. Also, 300 Americans each day are dying of deadly Chinese Mexican drug cartel produced fentanyl coming in over our southern border. If it's not already abundantly clear, Alejandro Mayorkas has forsaken his sworn oath to protect the homeland. I don't know when it's going to be any more clear. We've warned him to reverse course and to enforce the laws passed by the United States Congress. But his quest to erase our southern border has simply persisted. Now it's time for accountability. We will not allow this dereliction of duty to continue. America and our future are absolutely on the line. Mayorkas has disgraced the office that he holds. He has abandoned his constitutional obligation, and willfully, I might add, and should be impeached immediately. Thank you.
I am here in total and complete support of the effort led by my colleagues on the Border Security Caucus to impeach Secretary Mayorkas. Impeachment is not a tool for incompetence. It is not a tool for negligence. It is a tool for willful action to harm the country. And we see that each and every day from Mayorkas. He has no plan to deport the more than 1 million people who have active deportation orders in our country. He has no plan to secure the border, and in fact is fomenting chaos each and every day. Oh, we do have a plan, and that plan starts with impeachment, and it starts when we take power. I'd now welcome my colleague Lauren Boebert from Colorado.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today, and thank you so much to co-chairs Brian Babin and Andy Biggs for leading this and just addressing the issues that we are having here on the southern border. Now, let's get straight to the point. Under President Trump, we had a secure border, and now we have a wide open border with millions crossing into our country. Many of them are criminals bringing in deadly drugs that are killing our children and are devastating our communities. Many of them are known terrorists and MS-13 gang members. Under this administration's failed leadership, Customs and Border Patrol officers have been handcuffed by weak directives and horrific policies. Many of these agents have been assaulted and have even lost their lives due to Secretary Mayorkas's open border policies. America is one of the most generous nations in the world, accepting 1 million legal immigrants every year. Myself and my colleagues cherish those moments when we welcome those people who did it right into our country. And Secretary Mayorkas is slapping each and every one of them in the face with his policies. Crimes committed by illegal immigrants have surged with homicides, assaults, domestic violence, and sex offenses, all by illegal aliens increasing dramatically just last year alone. Over 5 million illegal aliens crossed our border on Mayorkas's watch. More than 14,000 pounds of fentanyl was seized in fiscal year 2022 at our southern border. That is an all-time record high. And this is a huge problem that we must address. Secretary Mayorkas has refused to address this crisis, but we won't. He regularly lies to the American people, claiming that the southern border is closed. I've been there, it's wide open. Secretary Mayorkas has failed to enforce the laws on the books, and the American people demand accountability for what is happening at the border. House Republicans are in the majority now, and it's time that we act, not just speak about what is happening. And the impeachment of Mayorkas is the appropriate place to start. And I welcome the chairman of the Republican Study Committee, Congressman Kevin Hern.